Welcome to this series on reading music. This video contains lesson 2 of 5. In this lesson we will cover time signatures, bars, and we'll put together the first 3 topics. In the first video of this series we gave an introduction about the sorts of things that can be found in sheet music and reassured you that you don't need to know it all to get some use out of it. We identified 9 basic topics that we think will help you leap ahead in your ability to get benefit from printed music. Then we talked about the first of those 9 topics, notes, rests, and their values. We'll be building on those concepts in this video, so if you haven't watched that one yet, I would encourage you to do so before you watch this one. And that brings us to our second topic, time signatures. A time signature usually just looks like 2 numbers, one on top of the other. Lots of music will have only one time signature, and you'll find it at the top left of the music. But the time signature can change in the middle of the piece, so you might see more than one, as in the example here. 2 time signatures appear so often that they have special symbols that can take the place of the numbers. One example is 4/4 time. That's how you read one of these, 2 numbers, saying the top one first. 4/4 time is also called common time, and you can use a big C in place of the 2 stacked 4s. 2/2 time is also known as cut time, and you can substitute that same C but with a line cutting it in half from top to bottom. Each of the 2 numbers has a specific meaning. The top number tells us how many beats there are in a bar. I know I haven't talked about bars yet, but we'll get to them very soon. So the first example here is 4/4 time. The top number is a 4, so there are 4 beats in a bar. The top number is usually even, because otherwise the music can seem jerky. That's the case with the bottom example, 5/4 time, which is used for the Mission Impossible theme. You know the one? Dum, 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 dum. Of course, 3/4 time is pretty common, and it's not so jerky. That's the time normally used for waltzes. Da 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 da. In any case, the top number is about how many beats in a bar. The bottom number of the time signature tells you what kind of note gets 1 beat. A 4 means that a crotchet, the filled circle with a line or stem attached, gets 1 beat. An 8 means that a quaver, the notes with the little flags, gets 1 beat. A 2, as in the third example here, indicates that a minim, the empty circle with a stem attached, gets 1 beat. I've seen 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16 there, but 2, 4, and 8 are the most common, and 4 is the most common of all. Okay, I've mentioned bars, but I haven't yet explained them. Music is typically divided up into relatively short, equal segments called bars or measures. Bar lines are lines on the staff, we'll talk about the staff in lesson 4, that run from the top to the bottom and show the separation into bars. Bars are often numbered, and the numbers can be used to indicate where to start singing during rehearsals, or to specify a particular bar for asking questions. Now you know what we meant when we said that the top number in the time signature indicates how many beats will be in each bar. The number is usually between 2 and 6. Now that we know about notes and rests, time signatures, and bars, we can look at all of it together. The time signature tells how many beats made up of notes and rests appear in each bar. Here we have 3 different time signatures, followed by example bars. The first time signature is 4/4, so there are 4 beats in each bar, and a crotchet gets 1 beat. The first bar in the example has 4 crotchets, so that's easy. The second has 4 quavers, which each get half a beat, and 1 minim, which gets 2 beats, so it adds up to 4 beats. The second example with 6/8 time is pretty straightforward. In the third example we have 3/4 time, so we have 3 crotchets per bar. The first bar in the example has a single dotted minimum, which is 3 beats. The second bar has a crotchet and 2 crotchet rests, each of which is 1 beat, for a total of 3. You may be confused about the difference between the relative lengths of notes that we talked about in Lesson 1 and the number of beats that we're talking about now. The relative lengths are just that, relative. So, if you have a minim, the empty circle with a stem, it is always twice as long as a crotchet, the filled circle with a stem. So, if a crotchet is 1 beat, the minim will be 2. If a quaver, a filled circle with a stem and a flag, is 1 beat, a crotchet will be 2 and a minim will be 4. In 4/4 time, which is the most common time signature, the relative lengths we discussed in the first lesson are the same as beats. But no matter what type of note gets 1 beat, the relative lengths will stay the same. Let's work through the example shown. The time signature here is 2/2. That means that there are 2 beats per measure, the top number, and that a minim, the empty circle with a stem, is equal to 1 beat. So in each bar we would expect to find notes and rests that add up to 2 beats. Let's look. The first bar has 2 minims, or half notes, each of which is equal to 1 beat. So that one's easy. The second bar has a dotted minim, which is half again as long as a regular minim, so that equals 1.5 beats. This is followed by a crotchet, the filled circle with a stem attached. Since a crotchet is half as long as a minim, that means it's 1/2 beat in this song. So the bar totals 1.5 plus half beats, or 2. The third bar has a semi-breve, which is twice as long as a minim, so it gets 2 beats all by itself. The fourth bar has a minim and 2 crotchets, or 1 plus a half beats. Every bar in the piece will have notes and or rests that add up to 2 beats. Thanks for watching this second of 5 lessons on reading music. Be sure to check out the rest of the series.